Our last, and certainly I can say this the least, recognition is for the Clyde Bartlett Distinguished Service Award. The purpose of this award is to recognize an Ohio school psychologist for outstanding service or achievement in the profession. Criteria for selection include significant contribution to growth and and development of the profession, outstanding service to the community, and the personal qualities thought to be desirable in the profession. By tradition, the recipient of this award is introduced to the membership by a close friend and colleague, which is why I am pleased to welcome Jeff York for this introduction.
Thank you, sir. All right. It is my honor to introduce this year's recipient of the Clyde Bartlett Distinguished Service Award, Dr. Rob Kubick. I've worked with Rob for over 25 years, and it is difficult to succinctly summarize his achievements and contributions, but I'll give it a try. At the district level, Rob has practiced as a school psychologist in a K-12 setting for over 20 years before becoming the Related Services Coordinator and former Section 504 Compliance Officer for the district. He has served as the direct supervisor for approximately 60 school psychology interns over the years and provided for the supervision needs of more than a dozen since his becoming coordinator of the Child Study Department. He has also secured the status of his school district as a practicum training site and provided more training opportunities. His contributions to school psychology associations and leadership groups include the following. He has served as president of OSPA and the Kent-Akron Area Association of School Psychologists. He has served on OSPA Awards Committee for 20 years, recognizing our own, and was chair for at least half of them, and has been in the position of recognizing us, and now it is his turn to be recognized. He's been involved in additional OSPA committees. He has also helped plan for the realignment of OSPA's core leadership structure, including the creation of the executive director position, and has chaired the search committee to hire our current executive director. He has served as the editor of the Ohio School Psychologist publication since 2007, has been the Ohio delegate to NASP, has served as chair of the Ohio Supervisors of School Psychologists for nearly past 10 years, and coordinated 2 separate deployments of the OSPA Omnibus Survey. And there are some additional contributions. He's authored several book chapters and scholarly articles, including Manifestation Determinations in the last 4 editions of Best Practices in School Psychology. He has served for nearly 25 years as a teaching fellow and adjunct professor for school psychology graduate students at the Kent State University, and was recently awarded the Kent State University Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Award for 23-24. And he has co-presented for 25 years in Ohio and 15 years at NASP on the topic of getting and keeping your first job as a school psychologist, and had another successful session this morning under his belt. Some previous OSPA awards include the F. Peter Gross Best Practices Award, Ohio School Psychologist of the Year in 2011, and Model School Psychology Intern Field Supervisor Awards from NASP. It is with all this in mind, I propose we congratulate Dr. Rob Kubick to be recognized with OSPA's Clyde Bartlett Distinguished Service Award.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for doing that. I know how much you love public speaking. I'll keep it brief. When I look at the list of names who've been honored with this recognition, there are so many people who, to me, are leading lights in the history of school psychology. Just a few years ago, we lost Pauline Alexander. She's a recipient. She's a former OSPA president, the first ever president of NASP. People like Valerie Wolcott Mendelson, for whom the OSPA Scholarship is named. In '97, she was the OSPA president. I was attending the intern conference. She invited me to the head table to dine with some OSPA leadership during lunch when I was the only intern for my training program. And as Jeff says, his head grew 3 sizes that day. She started my involvement in OSPA, so she's partly to blame for everything that came after that. Thank you, Valerie, for being so gracious. I want to thank other OSPA partners of mine over the year who also received this award: Mike Forcade, Kathy McNamara, Pete Tolan, Frank Scarano, Amity Noltemeyer, who was last year's recipient, and of course, Alex Thomas, who I still dearly miss. I want to thank another recipient, Kathy Telsrow, who first discovered school psychology when she was hired as a typist for the first ever NASP journal, and would go on to be a NASP Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Thanks too to my mentor, Kevin McLaughlin, who supported my stepping forward to serve as OSPA president while he was simultaneously serving as my dissertation director, always very supportive. I want to thank my first supervisor who hired me into the Akron Public Schools, another recipient of this award, Dr. Elizabeth Bard. From the start, I think she identified me as someone in need of intensive intervention, and I became her project. To this day, I still adhere to much of her guidance and many of her traditions. Elizabeth Bard made our department in Akron a family. I want to thank my other school psychologist supervisors who continue to promote that cohesiveness of our team and our work family, Perry Clark and John Biltz. I want to thank my current supervisor in Akron, our Director of Special Education, Melissa Freimeyer. I wish everyone was professionally and personally blessed with such devoted supervisors who always empowered me, supported me, and cheered for me. I want to thank the OSPA leaders with whom I've served over the years, of course, Ann Brennan, Cheryl Vandenberg, and now Rachel Chilton and Megan Luna. As I start to reach the twilight of my career, I am very comforted by knowing that this association will endure and prosper under such capable stewards. I want to thank my first intern supervisor, Susan Kruger, who's been mentioned like 8,000 times tonight, and Terry Bendo, who were the best teachers and role models for my having a positive launch into this profession. I want to thank my staff of school psychologists in the Akron Public Schools, including Kelly Kreitz and Jenna Heedy, who are like my right hand and my left hand in so many matters, Chris Sweeney, who has never wavered in his support of me even in challenging times, and all of you who are here to share in this moment with me. Thanks to Brian Hill, who's been alongside me since our start together in Akron, to Eric Merkel, with whom I started my doctoral studies nearly 25 years ago. It's been a great ride with this team. I want to thank my nominator, Jeff York. There is no one with whom I've partnered on so many OSPA and Akron initiatives. Jeff, you are my work brother, and this moment is made whole for me by your being here. The only thing that'll make this moment better for me is to see you up here someday being similarly recognized with this award. I want to thank my parents, Robert and Deborah, who made the brave choice to bring me into this world when they were only teenagers themselves, and my entire extended family. As Dr. Fagan reminds us, we all stand on the shoulders of those who went before us. I want to thank my loving children, Rachel, Rebecca, Leah, and Bob, who give me purpose, joy, love, and perspective. They are beautiful and constant reminders of what matters most. Finally, I want to thank my supervisor, my loving wife, Michelle. Since August of 1992, nearly anything positive in my life has been rooted in her love for me and in our love for each other. She is my very best friend, my soulmate, and my constant proof of God's love. As you can see, I've had a lot of help along the way, and I feel very fortunate and blessed for the life I've had, and to work and share this noble profession with all of you, so many people who I admire and love. Thank you all for this tremendous honor. I'll never forget it. God bless you, and good night.